Good evening and welcome back, everybody, to another brand new episode of E-Xemplify's exclusive podcast, E-Xemplify. My name is Indrayut, and I will be your host for the day. Today's episode is actually a special one. Today, we have double the amount of excitement, double the amount of gusto, wisdom, experience, because today, we don't just have one guest. No, we have two of them. This dynamic duo runs Fincocktail together. Fincocktail is a brand that has the mission of educating the masses about finance. We have with us today Sayali Rai, who is the founder and co-managing partner of Fincocktail, and Niyati Thaker, who is the co-managing partner of Fincocktail. Between the two of them, they have 5+ years of experience in the finance industry. It is going to be a blast. Welcome, ma'am. It is a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for getting our names right.
That was
usually doesn't
the
happen.
pronunciation was spot on because either people get Sayali wrong or Thaker wrong.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So our viewers actually want to know a lot from you. Okay. So we have quite a few exciting segments lined up today, and without any further ado, we just get right into it.
Sure.
Okay. So, ma'am, my first question would be to you, Sayali, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess Sayali.
Just Sayali, yes. Please,
Sayali,
thank
yes.
you.
So, you've had a few different professions. You've been an assistant tutor, marketing associate, banking analyst, and now entrepreneur as well as a content creator. Okay, how has this journey been so far?
You clearly have stalked my LinkedIn profile very, very well. But yeah, I think I've done it all. I think it all began when I was young and indecisive, and everybody around me was like, "Acha, mujhe to ye karna hai. I want to do this. I'm sure that I'm going to end up in this field." And I was clueless. I was lost. I was completely like, I don't know what I want to do. Let's see, Bhagwan Bharose. But I think that kind of helped me reach where I am today because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I did everything. I was like, whatever came my way, I'm like, okay, I want digital marketing also. I will assist my accounts ka professor. I worked at Nykaa as when it was a like tiny startup also. I worked on a film. My name is in the credits of the film, which is very cool. Yeah, basically I just did everything because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then slowly, I started understanding at least what I didn't like doing. A lot of people say, I love finance, or I love this, so I will end up in this. But mine was thoda ulta. I was like, you know what, I don't like this, so let's not go there. Or I don't like that, so let's not go there. And slowly, then I realized that Acha, finance is something that I'm enjoying. So is digital marketing. So I think I kind of just married the two in this and just made something of myself.
I see. Interesting. So, my next question is for Niyati.
Please.
Okay. So you were manager of personal wealth at ASK Group.
That's true.
A lot of our viewers will really want to know what that entails. So can you expand on
Sure.
that?
Sure. So basically, I spent almost a little over 5 years in the wealth management space where I worked as a private banker with ASK. What that really entails is managing portfolios of high net worth individuals. Now that means everything from asset allocation to choosing the product and recommending those particular products, be it mutual funds or be it PMS or be it bonds. Just basically designing a portfolio for them, keeping in mind their goals and objectives. So that is something that I really did over 5 years. I learned everything that I know about personal finance at ASK, a lot of credit over there. But
I see. That was a lot.
Yeah. Helped me a lot also. She taught me a lot.
Ma'am, I keep Sayali.
Yes.
In a recent LinkedIn post, I'll correct myself. You talked about the toxic side of culture and how you think that becoming someone important. We have. Sorry. So I'll do this again. So in a recent LinkedIn post, you said that you talked about the toxic side of hustle culture, where a lot of people have to give up the work-life balance. So, how, like a lot of our audiences on our sites would like to know that something significant, becoming someone important, how do you achieve that without giving up the work-life balance? So how do you think you would do it?
Okay. So your question is like 2-3-part fold.
Yeah.
I'm going to get slow. Let me begin by talking about my post which you're referring to. It was an opinion. Everybody has their own opinion about hustle, and now there's this new 18-hour day discussion that is going on. And these discussions will keep going. Okay. And every day there will be somebody, one section that will say that, you know what, if there are 28-hour days, I will work for 28 hours. And then there's another section that says, I don't work even 1 hour because I love my work. And then there is the last section where we like our work life. And there's nothing wrong in being in either section of it. Not work, we love it, we immensely we look forward to this other and come to office and actually doing the work. But what I'm referring to is the toxic side of it. Well,
it's okay, we're on.
Still good. Okay. You can't, I think that you have to find a balance that works for you. Like, for example, now both of us can't, or both of us love traveling, she more than me, but she can't perpetually be on a holiday. Like, she'll get bored of that also. I love reading or watching movies, but if I do that for like 3 days straight, then she's going to be done. Exactly. I'm going to be done. And if we both now, actually. I guess at City for me, where it was too much, where I was doing the 18-20-hour days and it was not healthy at all. But the balance is what you find balance. Like, for example, what she may choose to go on a holiday, for example, I may choose to sit at home and not with anybody. But that's my personal choice, right? And last but not the least, how do you become someone successful while also maintaining this work-life balance is priorities. First of all, you cannot let your work suffer. You have to learn to delegate, because no one person becomes successful without a team, without ecosystem. You have to build that ecosystem. Nobody can do it all. It's not possible only. So, I mean, look at your biggest people that you look up to right now, including Ratan Tata. Anybody. How great at doing is building an ecosystem. They work themselves. You have to learn to delegate, build an ecosystem, and you have to learn to rejuvenate. If you don't, you will burn out. You what you're trying to reach there. So I think work-life balance, to define what that means.
Sorry, we're just having some troubles. Okay. And we're back.
I think you just have so many bloopers of us saying, hi, we are back, or oh no, we are gone.
Sorry?
I said you will have so many bloopers of us just saying, hi, we're back.
Yeah. So our editing team comes into play there. Okay. So, Niyati, anything you would like to add to this?
I actually absolutely agree with what Sayali said. I mean, work-life balance for me has always been a very, very big priority. I mean, I don't know if you know, but before I started working at ASK, I worked for about a year with Axis Capital in their investment banking team. And just that 1 year was so hard in terms of long hours and in terms of the time and commitment that it required, that I decided that maybe this is not the kind of life that I want to choose for myself. And I'm glad that I realized that early on, because I know for a fact that I love my personal life a lot. Like, I like going on those holidays. I don't want to have to beg my boss for leave to take those holidays. I like taking days off, attending family events, managing my personal life, my social life along with work. And sometimes you have to give up a lot if you are actually hustling so hard, which I personally wasn't okay with. So I chose very early on that I don't want to put myself through that grind. And yeah, I decided to sort of change my line of work. I joined ASK where there was a great work-life balance. Obviously that doesn't like we used to work hard, but at least we used to get done at a decent time. I used to get to enjoy my personal life as well. So work-life balance to me has always been very, very important. And like Riley said, you have to prioritize. Without prioritizing, you're not going to be able to achieve
Either.
either. Yeah. And then the burnout situation, which you really don't want to be in.
I see. I see. Yeah, that's very insightful. Thank you. Okay, so our next segment is this. It's going to be a very popular game.
Mhm.
Okay, it's the very popular game of Would You Rather, but we have it for business. So we
Okay.
go back, we take a look at one of the business decisions that you've made, and if maybe you would have done it differently. So we're going to get started with Sayali. Okay.
Okay.
Fincocktail has grown a lot in the last 2 years that it has been around. So if you had to do it again, would you do it at the time we started? Would you do it earlier or later than when Fincocktail started?
I think the reason why Fincocktail is where it is right now is because it started when it did. Because there was a certain, so there are 2-3 things behind it, right? Like number one, I had the time, I had the mental space and facility to actually get started with it. People were sitting at home because of COVID, and they had the time to listen to my bakwas. And and it all kind of just sort of, and TikTok got banned here. So then
Yes.
reels blew up, etc. etc. So it's all about timing and where you were at that time. So I guess that time was the best for me. So I would just stick to that.
Yeah, I think because later the entire space got so like overcrowded with content creators,
Oh, yeah.
especially finance content creators, that I think it would have been very, very hard for
To
us to
establish
find
us.
our niche and
100%.
establish ourselves if we would have been, late to the game.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would say that in becoming successful entrepreneurs or content creators, timing is very
I
important.
mean, in hindsight, like
Yeah.
at that time, we didn't know it would go out like that. But if we were to think back, then timing worked well.
Niyati, suppose you knew that Fincocktail was critical. Okay, sometime you would join Fincocktail. Would you still have and joined the SK group, got the 5+ years of experience that you have?
Honestly, I think that we're able to do a lot at Fincocktail because of the experience that I had of those 5+ years. Because the industry that I was in was absolutely related to personal finance and managing wealth, where I gained immense knowledge. Everything that I probably know about mutual funds or other investment vehicles per se, is because of that 5+ years of experience. I don't think that I would have been able to contribute anything at all to Fincocktail if it weren't for those 5 years.
I sincerely hope she would have done that, because Varna, what would we do? What would we talk about? We don't know.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
think in terms of knowledge, there was a lot to learn in my corporate job, and I'm not going to take any threaded away from that. So I think that even if Fincocktail would have happened 4 years ago, I don't think I would have been able to contribute anything to Fincocktail if it weren't for these 5 years of work experience.
I see. So these years have been instrumental for you.
Oh, for
Absolutely,
sure.
absolutely.
Moving on, we have Twitter X-ray.
Oh,
Okay.
what?
Yes. We'll take a look at one of your tweets.
Yes, I have like some
And
2 or 3 people
we'll ask
following
you
me
questions
on
about it.
Twitter. I should
Sorry?
I have like 2, 3 people who are actually listening to what I say on Twitter. I don't think anybody listens to me.
So our team over here will display a tweet for you over here.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll ask you the question.
Okay.
This one right here we have.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you
Oh my
mentioned that
God, she really
yes.
does. I can
that you
vouch.
love
I
your
can
Excel
vouch
sheets.
for this. Even before you ask her any question, I'll tell you that creating sheets is Sayali's favorite task. Every morning, I wake up to a new sheet shared with me by Sayali because she just loves making sheets, documents, and sheets, and files and folders. My life revolves around Sayali doing these things.
So my question would be regarding that, because your caption mentions that you can break these down into simple steps. So
Yes.
if you take something like creativity, do you think that something like that can be taught to someone if you can break it down in scientific steps?
So you're basically asking me, is can creativity be taught? That's what you're asking me.
Yes.
So I believe there is some innate creativity that you have, but it can be nurtured, it can be developed. And yes, I firmly believe this, that I do have lots of sheets. I have a sheet for everything. I have documents for everything. I have folders within folders for everything, and I love it. It helps me compartmentalize and sort of put my thoughts in order, because creativity just flows any time of day. Like if you see my notes folder on my phone, that is another monster altogether. Because whenever I think of something, I just write it down. And then the next day I put it in that particular folder or in that particular document or in that sheet. Only then can you actually condense it all down into content that you see every single day from Fincocktail, for example.
Absolutely. If I can just add to this, like as a person, I'm very different from Sayali. She is the one who is a lot more creative than I am. I usually like sticking to the technicals and the fundamentals of it all.
She's the one who reins me in, being like, boss, relax. We need to give some information. You can't just talk about anything you want.
No, yeah, absolutely. But what I truly believe is what she said, that creativity can be nurtured, because having spent these couple of years with Sayali at Fincocktail, I believe that I have started getting like bursts of creativity where I'll come up with something that I think I wouldn't have earlier on. So
she has ideas now.
Yeah, like now I have random ideas that we can like use this as a hook for the reel, or like stuff like that. So creativity can definitely be nurtured
because it's a process finally, right?
Yeah.
Where you just literally have to sit and think about what is possible.
But inherently, your personality also plays a very big role. I mean, that's her personality, and it comes out also in that way.
All right. Now, we also tried to locate tweets for Niyati.
No way. I don't even have social media.
They were back in 2014.
Oh my God, I don't even remember if they must be a retweet. I don't even remember. I don't even want to discuss this. If you have anything on.
I want to see this now. I will go and stalk this.
No, unfortunately, so we did not keep the tweets from 2014. What we did was we instead took one of Sayali's tweets and we want to ask questions about that.
Fair enough. Because I don't think I want to listen to what I said in 2014. Much focus is set on.
So this thing, you mentioned that starting a business, you also have to make sure that you're aware of the worst possible outcomes.
Yes.
So when someone is starting their business, what would you suggest is a way they can go about making sure that they are aware of the worst possible outcomes and they can so that they can go ahead and head it off at the curb?
You know, I'll tell you a story of like it's a personal story where when we were starting like Sayali had already started Fincocktail, and then a few months down the line she asked me to sort of get on board with her. Figure out, I decided I didn't want to work in corporate world anymore. I wanted to sort of get out and do something on my own. And fortunately, timing was great when she reached out to me with the idea of Fincocktail. And that is when I started discussing this with my husband, we doing in life. And I got like two extremely opposing opinions. One was very positive from my husband, where he was like, you should definitely go for this. This seems like a really great idea and it's going to work, and all the positives were discussed. And
send him a little present tomorrow.
the second was from my dad, who just could not get himself to accept why I would quit a job where I'd worked 5 years, where I was doing well, to start something on my own on Instagram. He was just like, so Instagram se business kaise ban sakta hai? Matlab, it's
Who
just
will
not
give you
possible.
money on
Who will give you
Instagram? You're
money?
mad.
Y'all can create videos, then put them up. Like, but what is going to come out of it? If y'all are trying to make this into a monetary sort of model, how is it going to work out? And obviously, at that point in time, I sat down and thought about it a lot and thought about all the negatives as well, because my dad was like totally against it. He was just like, no, this is not going to work out for you. This is not what you should be doing. But I was quit my job thinking that, now I'm just going to get another job and like get into this entire rut again. So thinking about the negative is, I think, equally important as thinking about the positive. But then at the end of it, you have to take that leap of faith. That is something you just have to do. I think you just have to follow your gut. As cliched as that sounds, I don't think there's a way around it. You have to go with your instincts. If you feel like this is something that you like, enjoy, and will enjoy for the longer sort of future, then I think you should take that leap of faith. पैसा तो ठीक है, maybe आएगा नहीं आएगा कभी आएगा, nobody can guarantee. Even with a corporate job today, I have a job, tomorrow I might not. Who's to say? But at the end of it, I think after assessing the pros and cons, that little leap of faith is very, very important.
Yeah. So easiest way to assess the negatives, ask people around you. People are waiting to talk about the negatives, especially if you have a brilliant idea. Everybody will talk about the negatives around you.
So how do you end up filtering it out? Just your gut feeling, or there's some methodology to you?
No, obviously I think
see, there are a couple of things, right? Like how she said, your gut feeling is when you're making a decision, like when you're taking that leap of faith. But when there are people around you talking negatively about your business model every single day, that time you have to sort of build ways to assess whether that negativity is worth your while or not. Like, for example, if somebody tells us that, okay, you've done this much business this month, but next month, what are you going to make sure that for the next 6 months, there is some sort of cash inflow coming, etc., etc. All these things only happen when you understand that, yes, this is a negative, that we don't have consistent revenue. We don't have, longer term contracts, etc., etc. Now we do, then we didn't. So it's a whole thing whether
it's a process. I mean, sometimes you take it in a way where, it sort of pushes you to
answer the question.
And sometimes if, you feel like you've done whatever it takes to be done, You just have to block it out. You
Like
just
if
sort
some,
of,
yeah,
you just tune out and be like, "ठीक है यार," matlab, I don't even have to argue with the person who's giving me the negative feedback. I just be like, yeah, okay. You know, that's your opinion, sure, why not?
If that,
Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and have to necessarily argue. What I'm doing might be completely.
yeah, but you can't convince everybody. You have to be like, cool, bro. You do you.
All right. So now we have some questions which are a little bit more personal. Okay,
Little bit?
more personal.
Oh,
Okay.
personal.
So it's for say,
Okay.
Fincocktail is quite an attractive name. Okay, my team was very excited about this. So we would like to know about the thought process that went behind this name.
Oh God. Okay. So Fincocktail, actually, I was thinking of a name and I was thinking of how to put my personality into it because I didn't want it to be just another finance company or just another name. You know? And I love gin cocktails. I love them. They're amazing and they're the best thing invented. So I was like, hey, why not? That's why if you look at our logo also, it's a little glass with a
Yes.
little olive as so there was a whole thing with a friend of mine who helped me design the logo. And she's like, what are you imagining? I was like, martini glass and this and that. That's how it sort of came about.
I see. So a lot of people give this advice that whenever you have the idea for a name or something, try finding a domain. So for Fincocktail, if that domain was taken, what alternative would you have named your company?
No, don't say these things. Yeah, I was very
No, but
lucky.
she was lucky enough
I was
to
very
get
lucky.
domains across all platforms. Like we got Fincocktail across literally every single platform, and she was smart enough to do it at that point in time before we even started ever posting on Twitter or on LinkedIn or YouTube or whatever. She at least had the vision to sort of block that handle. I think
This is out of doing every my job was that to go and block. So that helped. You just keep thinking. Don't know. So I was a little sheet scribbling and like multiple names. There were, but maybe I would give them that a shot. But no, I like them.
Fincocktail, yeah. I don't think that we could have done any better than
Yeah.
Okay, Fincocktail for the win.
Yes.
Niyati, our team had a very tough time trying to track social media activity for you. So
Because there is none.
Yeah.
Zero.
So one of my team members wanted me to ask this to you, that is there any reason for the inactivity, or is it just because Fincocktail is such a big project and
So I've
it's such a
always
valuable
been,
thing
I'll
that
tell
you've
you,
been.
to answer this very simply, I was never active on social media in my life. Like maybe back in the day,
2014, what you saw.
2014 fired. But in the past 5 or 7 years, I haven't been active, not even on my personal like Instagram handle or whatever. I don't post much. It's just never been. I mean, it's just not me. In my opinion,
I
I
see.
think I just like having, my personal space and time and everything, and I feel like I don't need to share it on my personal handle.
Of course.
That's funny. And the funny thing is, she takes so many pictures. She loves taking pictures, and she takes so many more pictures than I do.
Yeah.
She has this amazing album. She has these beautiful pictures, but she'll never post them.
Yeah.
Ever. Anywhere. You will not see them unless you go into her phone and find them.
Yeah. So I think just the way I'm wired, I don't think that, even when Sayali reached out to me with the idea of Fincocktail, my biggest apprehension was that I don't want to, I'll face the camera. Chalo, that also I would have gotten over it, but I didn't want to put myself out there in front of as many people.
Especially our personal life.
Yeah. So
if you notice, we don't share much about our personal life on Fincocktail also.
Yeah. So I think it took a lot of like convincing and pushing from Sayali every single day to put myself out there. But now that I just stick to putting myself out there on Fincocktail.
Unse zyada na ho paye.
In fact, part of your answer, you just took the question right out of my mouth. I was going to ask, what was the conversation like when one of you came up with the idea of Fincocktail, and then there was a conversation of Niyati joining it. So
Yeah.
what was that like?
It was actually quite easy because we had like what, only 2 conversations. First time was when I introduced the thing to you,
Yeah.
and then the second time was
When
like,
I was like, chalo,
Chal
I'm
done.
on board, I'm on board.
So I think it was just quite.
It wasn't a very.
She already knew what I was doing.
I knew what you were doing, and she asked me to sort of be a part of this. And like I said, I had enough experience, enough and more experience in the space to sort of contribute, but initially what I thought was that I'll contribute in terms of just the content
behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. But obviously
I changed it up.
No. Well, we're gonna put you on the camera as well. So that changed, but the conversation was pretty smooth, I think.
Yeah.
Also, timing worked out great, like I said, because I had also put my team around and I was looking for what else I wanted to do. I had my options sort of open. So in terms of that, it just became easier for me to make that decision.
I took advantage of her open mind.
Yeah.
So again, you said that a lot of the content comes from her. So in Fincocktail, what are the roles divided as? Because both of you are co-managing partners.
That's a great
So
question.
how is it divided?
It's actually pretty
Very simple.
Yeah, it's very simple. It's and it was never discussed. There has never been a conversation about it, that what will you do, what will I do. It just seamlessly fell in its place. We play to our strengths. I used to handle the editing. Now, thank God.
Now we have an editor.
Amazing.
God
I love him. Big shout out for him. But I essentially largely creative is what I take care of. Largely content heavy, and fact checking and making sure that we're on the right is her part.
Yeah. So I think in terms of like, if I'll sort of just quickly take you through the process. If I get an idea, or if I read about something, or if I sort of like a particular topic to sort of speak about, then obviously there is some level of research that goes into it, So that research and boiling it down to the 5 main points is what I do. And then Sayali takes over, where she makes a whole sort of script and story out of it using all her creativity. And yeah, that's how like a reel is sort of formed.
I guess nowadays Niyati also is getting that creative spark a little bit.
Yeah. Like it's sometimes.
Love it.
All right. This has been extremely educational, inspiring. Okay, thank you for this. And it's been very interesting to listen to the accounts of 2 financial mixologists today. Okay, and I'm sure our viewers have been glued to their screens all of this time. Okay, and thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
To all our curious listeners, we have a couple of more episodes lined up. Very exciting people coming with amazing stories to share. So like, share, subscribe. Do not forget to miss that. Do not forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon. And if it's your nose.